Hello everyone, welcome back to LaserPenguinGames. Today we're going to be going over another Season 9 build for WoW Ascension. It's going to be a Frost Mage. And we'll go ahead and get started with the starting skills like we normally do. So for this Frost Mage, I started with, obviously, Frostbolt, Arcane Intellect, well, I guess it's better. So Intellect, and then Fizzle as an interrupt. But I'll say I upgraded after, so you might get a better one later. But it's nice to just have an interrupt to start, and then a pet. Kind of the last slot is just a pet of your choice. I went with Dominate Undead because I wanted a Frost Mage pet too, just to have a full Frost experience. For the ability cards, you can just leave them all empty. Same with the talents. Basically, that's mostly what people do now. Leave them empty and slot them in later. You'll get certain things and you'll miss other things, so you'll be able to fix up whatever you missed. What you'll see, I ended up slotting in Frostfall, Deep Freeze, Hydra Souls, Moon Conform, Ice Lance, and Arcane Power, because those are just some of the ones that I missed. But you'll see, we'll go over everything I got after. For the talents here, Frostbolt is like one of your main, I guess, talents for the build, and Fingers of Frost, and both very much needed. But you might just roll into them while you're leveling, or when you use your scrolls at 60. Frozen Flames, just some free damage. Rapid Shatter. Wacky Wizardry's just a fun one. And then I got Brain Freeze and Stay Frosty. Alright, so we're going to go over here. Okay, so let's go over abilities first. And then I'll go through like a few rotations of what I do. Be nice if I could put this higher up, but I guess you can kind of still see the bar. So this is what I ended up with. Ice Block. It's just to encase yourself in ice and don't take damage. Dragon Charge and Unchained Blink are my movement abilities. Frostfall, AoE. We got just a cleanse for ourselves. Got Feign Death as it's just another aggro drop, and oh shit button. Wind Shear is our interrupt now, upgraded from Fizzle, so it's got a better cooldown. It's just a better interrupt, but Fizzle you can start with, and Wind Shear you cannot. And we don't want to really waste a card for an interrupt. These are Dominate Undead. I got Ring of Frost, which can freeze. AoE, same thing with Absolute Zero is another AoE that can freeze. Got Mana Gem just for basically unlimited mana we can keep up as long as we have enough reduction. Oh, hello. I got some totems. I got Flame Tongue. That's back to the packs just for extra movement in dungeons. I guess Water Bolt's just extra. We don't need that, obviously. Well, it's the same thing as Frostbolt. I guess you can if you really want to, but it's the same thing. Ice Prism is our Frost Dot. So you can see I kind of have it lined up more as like single target on top, and then AoE on the bottom. Hydra Souls is kind of both. It's a single target. It's basically Frostbolt, but if there's other targets, it'll bounce and hit them. Got Wrathfire Totem. I have basically both Blizzards, so Blizzard and Hailstorm. One's like a cast time, and the other one is a channel. So I can do Absolute Zero, Frostfall, and then do double Blizzards for AoE. Just a heal as for an off healing. Then we got our Ice Lance, is also our second main attack we're going to need. For our single target, we basically have like 4 attacks, including Deep Freeze. I have Starfall right now on top of Frostfall, I guess, for just extra free AoE. Mass Dispel, just a useful raid tool mostly. Ice Barrier has some talents to actually give you more damage with it. It does absorb a little bit, but it's not really what we're doing. It's just, and it also makes you look like more like a Frost Mage. I got Arcane Power and Power Infusion, and both giving spell damage and then some haste. There's our Deep Freeze, and then there's our, I guess, last skill that we can keep re-rolling for some other stuff. Hopefully we get ice. I think I missed Icy Veins. It's like one of the ones that we're still looking for, but other than that, I think I have most of the moves that I would want as a Frost Mage. For our talents, and obviously we're in primary stat intellect here as well, if anyone's wondering. We got Ice Barrage here. So dealing damage with Cone of Cold, Deep Freeze, or Frostbolt grants you an icicle that stacks up to 5 times. The damage ice lands rapidly launches the stored icicles. My Wizardry is just going to give us free mage spells. Dealing damage with Cone of Cold or Frostbolt refreshes duration Ice Prism. So basically it's going to, you just put it on once, the Ice Prism, and then as long as you're Frostbolting, it just never goes away. Overloaded Mine. This is just free spell haste. We got Frost Lich, there's some more free ice damage. Stay Frosty is going to just help us trigger Fingers of Frost and give us a bit more frost damage as well. Biting Cold helps us with our Deep Freeze and cooldown for it. Fingers of Death is nice, so it's going to fire basically a Shadow Lance as well sometimes on top of our Ice Lance for more damage. Rapid Shatter. So this is going to want you to have like a pretty nice distance when you're firing. So you don't want to be super close because you want to be able to fire your Ice Lance right after, like to hit before your Frostbolt if you can. This is just Frigid Darkness, which is Shadow and Frost. Also, we're getting the free Shadow Lances, so it'll just stack free damage. Frosty Frost Frostbolt is just great. It fires extra Frostbolts and gives us increased chance to trigger our Fingers of Frost. Frozen Flames is just an extra free dot. Pendulum gives us spell haste or spell crit. Then we got just a bunch of spell crit chance, pushback, proof Frostbolts, Frostbite. Gives just extra chance to freeze. Then we just basically every frost talent we could get. This is for improved Blizzard. Frost Channeling reduces the threat of our and mana cost of our frost spells. Shatter gives us increased ice lance damage and more crit against frozen targets. Winter's Chill increases our crit chance, and our frost damage will apply Winter's Chill, increase the chance that they'll get critically hit again. There's 5 out of 5 on Ice Shards, which is our spell crit plus extra frost damage as well. And I got basically haste, total intellect, and crit chance to hit. We got some more crit and haste and crit, and Arctic Reach is also another important one. Gives you an extra charge of Fingers of Frost and increases your range for your spells. Then we just got some extra damage. More crit. That's only 1% on that one. But and then I'm just taking all the ones that are just like straight up 3% damage, 3% crit, 3% haste. This just increases our Ice Barrier's duration, but while Ice Barrier's up, I think we have extra damage from that as well. This is more damage. Powering Frostbolt's nice as well. Just gives you extra damage after you Frostbolt. We have a pretty decent amount of haste. Crit, Fingers of Frost, obviously a main talent for the build. You need it to do like everything As a Frost Mage, you're going to need to proc some Fingers of Frost. Tilt to the bone. Some more damage. And I guess extra movement speed reduction on your Frostball as well. Since we do have Moonkin form, we have improved form. Here's some more haste, more straight up damage, and this also gives our Ice Barrier 6% more damage while we have it active. So Torment the Weak. So this lets us do 9% more damage to targets we have slowed. Obviously Frostbolt is going to do that for us. Then we got some more spell crit. More spell crit. And this is kind of the one we're just rolling as our extra. It's corrupted bear form, also we don't use that. Again, I can do a roll. Maybe it'll turn into something useful. No. Alright, now let's go over kind of like a rotation for a single target. Oh, I guess, well, the last thing we missed, Mystic Enchants. So I have Fingers of Frost times 3. Hasty Deep Freeze times 3. Then we have Powerful Frostbolt times 3. Wizard's Frostbolt. Then we got Precision, Balance of Power for some chance to hit. And then these are kind of some one-offs, like 2% Frost spell damage. And this is 1% Frost, 1% Shadow, and then just 2% extra on the Ice Lance for Powerful. So also, like, you could, if you don't have some of these, you can put in more powerful Ice Lances instead. But this is, after a bit of testing, this is what works for what I have right now. This is my undead pet. It's like a Frost Undead. He does Frost Nova, Cone of Cold, and Frostbolts as well. Alright, so for the rotation, it's very, very simple. I'm going to put my Game Brilliance on first, and then we'll get the totems out. This is Flame Tongue and Wrath of Air. And then I'm just going to Frostbolt, make sure I get my Ice Prism going. And then as soon as we trigger our Fingers of Frost, we're going to Deep Freeze. Guess we could have bumped a bit first, but you can see I can back up even more. So whenever it comes up, we want to press our Deep Freeze, and then we're getting one of our talents is making our Frost attacks reduce the cooldown of our Deep Freeze as well. And then also get your Ice Barrier up if you don't have it up, because that's more damage. And then you can see, oh, we went up to like 9.5 there. You can add in Frostful, even with Frostfuls and single target. They kind of just give you free extra damage as well. See if we can get back up over to 9k here. We're up to like 9.3, 9.4, almost 9.5 there, but then it goes back down. So you have to have a Fingers of Frost charge to use your Deep Freeze. And also on like regular mobs and stuff, it's not going to do damage. It's going to actually like encase them. But on any bosses and stuff, you're going to be fine for damage with Deep Freeze. But you can see there we're doing over 9k, which is nice. If we do it steadily, and it really didn't hurt our mana that bad, and I didn't, like, you can just use mana gems to get back up during a fight. You'll really, and if you're in a rage, there'll be lots of extra mana coming in and to not worry about. For AoE, we kind of do want to be closer for AoE. I'll let this come off cooldown. So we're going to be pressing Frostfold, and then Absolute Zero, and then we do Hailstorm, and Blizzard. and it does pretty decently. You know, you're looking, probably looking at like 15K or so on these dummies, but definitely not like the craziest ever, but pretty not good enough. But it's pretty simple. There's a lot of frost to choose from. I don't really use the Ring of Frost. It just looks cool. I guess you can add it to. It's more of a PvP thing, I think. Freezes mobs, but that's everything for the Frost Mage build. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments, or if you tried it and have some other talents or like abilities or skills you use. But again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next one. Hello everyone who made it to the end of the video. This is LaserPenguinGames, reminding you to smash that like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps out. And if you're looking for even more content, check out my Patreon here, where I post exclusive video content every month, and you'll have access to all of that.